Hello, this month we focus on employer branding within the healthcare sector. Talk to us about employer branding and specifically focused on the healthcare sector and the experience that you had with healthcare providers.
Employer branding within the healthcare sector, it is quite varied, and it depends. The NHS is a different beast to an organisation or brand that's providing a product or service, I'll say in the private sector. So we've worked with the NHS, East London NHS, EPS03, on internal comms, and we worked on the magazine, employer magazine. We've designed all that and wrote all the copy and everything. And that was about articulating the kind of the success stories and the benefits, etc., for work for East London NHS Trust specifically, and celebrating the employees, celebrating the good that they're doing. When it's a private sector organisation, they're like every other business, and they need to articulate the benefits, the value and the opportunities for their employees in the same way as every other brand should. Demonstrate that, come to us, there's a place for you here, but obviously articulating the right type of people that they want to attract is a challenge. And it comes back to that cliche word, authenticity. You need to be honest with your communications. Don't make it more grander than it is. You don't need to overcomplicate it. And I think that's a problem with a lot of organisations and in the world that we operate in. Too much jargon, too much emphasis on data this, insight that. And data is important, but it only tells you one part of the story. There's behavioural science that comes into play that kind of influences people's decision, and understanding those and having, having an element of bravery.
Rachel, let's talk about strengths and weaknesses. Obviously, NHS Trust is a large organisation that's well established. When it comes to employer branding, that is a big strength that also can be a big weakness for that particular organisation because of the word of mouth, the things that has happened at past, etc. Talk to us a little more about the strengths and weakness.
Echoing what Gary said, really, I think it's really important to be truthful. We will talk to these members of staff, we will talk to them and find out from their point of view what are the strengths and weaknesses of the company that they're working for. And I think that's probably the only way you can really get to the nitty-gritty of it all.
And that's where the opportunity is.
So a lot of the work we do is discovery, and we highlight opportunities and give them recommendations on things we believe could have a bigger impact on their employee brand perception. Yeah, we worked with an interesting organisation recently, local organisation, Wessex Health Partners. Now, we refreshed their brand and worked with their leadership team to develop their brand strategy and define it with their network of people. They have staff, but they also have partnerships with universities, other healthcare NHS trusts, and so they are kind of their employees as well. So it's a interesting mix of different people with different expertise, lots of different audience types, and that's really critical to it, is understanding the different nuances between the different audiences that you're looking to target. And when we're talking about employer branding specifically, is articulating that again in the most honest and straightforward way. A lot of organisations do overcomplicate branding, and or they don't realise how important it is, I should say. But we like to keep things simple, and I think that's a lot of people will relate to this. Simplicity is key, but it's hard to achieve.